I'm live now. This is a sorted live, guys. I know we are doing after a long time, but I think we have a very, very interesting guest today. I'm just letting uh, Aarti talk about it. I think somebody who's really made a name and a brand for oneself here, and I think that's so interesting about this gentleman. Though we announced it, I don't want to talk much. I am inviting Aarti first to be part of the live, and then we are going to do some interesting conversation. Aarti, do you want to send me? Uh, 1 second. Let me just get her to join. Awesome. Accept. What's up?
Hi.
Long
Hi,
time.
Pawan.
Aarti, everyone's saying you guys are live after so long.
We are live after long. I think the last live we did was with Kanishka, like in May. I think it's been a while.
Right,
We
right, right,
should
right.
be more active on our sorted fireside chat. I agree. Sorry, guys. We'll do better.
So, why are we here, Aarti, today? Just give us a context and what has been your experience and like how that what led up, inviting you this particular guest.
So, Pawan, it's really fascinating. I don't know if you've come across these trending videos on Instagram and YouTube shorts about like physiotherapy, where usually like there's a doctor and he or she kind of breaks the bones. And first, I don't know about you, but I get so fascinated by them that I just get lost. I cannot stop at binging just one video, and it's almost like a ASMR. I don't know what it is. And
Wow,
so it's been a couple of months since I was like checking out these videos, and I've always wondered I should go and experience this once. And then very recently I happened to go for one of these camps, and I met Dr. Sudarshan,
wow.
who's our guest today. And it was really amazing. My experience was great. It was exactly like I literally knew every single step that's going to happen. It was exactly like that, but really, really good. It was genuinely the whole alignment, the experience, it was amazing. And so the fact that how it enabled me to stop these videos and actually take action, go offline and experience this, I thought on the hindsight while coming back that it's powerful how content can really play a role in generating leads, in getting customers, and there's something so powerful about that. And so I couldn't stop myself but ask Mr. Dr. Sudarshan if he'd be kind enough to join us for the live. And so that's how it happened.
Great. Before you invite him, so I think it's pretty interesting. You discovered him out of content, right, on
Yes.
Instagram, and then obviously
Yeah.
ended up contacting him, and therefore I think and therefore you went and took services. So yeah, I mean, guys, I think that's the kind of role content and Instagram can play in
Yeah.
anyone's life, whether you want to become like a influencer or for your business. That's the point which Aarti is making, and I think he's really made a name for himself on Instagram. So Aarti, without wasting any time, why don't you invite him?
I don't know if I've got an invite from Dr. Sudarshan yet. Have you got it? Can you check?
Let
You must have
me
got it.
check. Let me check. I've got 1 sec. Yes, I've just sent him an invite.
Okay, perfect.
The
Have you ever done something like that, Pawan? Do you
No,
have any back
I'm
issues?
very scared. I mean, I'm really scared about
You're
this.
scared.
Hi.
Hello, Dr. Sudarshan.
Hi, hi, hi.
So
Thank you
So
for
good to
having me.
have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
I,
for
I,
joining. Yes,
I hope
Pawan.
I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
sorry, I haven't met you personally, but I've heard too many stories from Aarti and very fascinating. Hopefully, I'm going to see you soon.
Sure, sure, sure.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Over to
Yeah. I would just like to first of all thank you again for joining. I had a great experience meeting you, and I had to invite for everybody watching. I would like to introduce Dr. Sudarshan, and there's a whole host of things you've achieved, but you are a consultant physiotherapist. You are also a certified osteopath. 20 years of experience, recovered almost 15,000 patients. And what's really interesting is that you're on a mission to really relieve pain. You're on a mission to ensure people improve their mobility, their flexibility. And there's a certain technique which I'm really curious about, which is spinal manipulation. I've never heard that term before, and I'd love to know more about it. And exercises and all of that. And you also own a clinic in Thane, which is Joints and Motion. Anyone who's around Thane, Mumbai, please do hit up their Instagram. And yeah, and more than anything else, it's really amazing the kind of personal brand you have built through Instagram. It's really fascinating to see those content videos, and that was one of the things that made me come and visit you at your clinic. So congratulations for all of it that you've achieved, and I hope I've done
Thank you
justice
so much.
introducing you.
Thank
But
you so much.
but I'm sure we'll get to know more. Cannot wait
Certainly.
to start this live.
Certainly.
Over to you,
Absolutely.
Pawan.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I think, as I said, when I kind of told some of my friends that you're going to be live, and they were very curious to sort of know about you, and yeah, I mean, so therefore, the first thing which I want to ask from you is that what kind of cases do you get? What kind of interesting stuff? Like, how did you discover? And like, how did Instagram or online happen? So if you can just throw some light.
So basically, as a physiotherapist, I was anyways working with these cases, whether it is neck pain, back pain, all of these cases were very common. And after doing my osteopathy, getting a certification and trying out these, spinal manipulations, working with patients, and we started doing some videos also, because some patients were like, they wanted videos, they wanted to kind of shoot themselves and get that experience, and they wanted that to stay with them. And we took their consents. All the videos that we post on Instagrams is with the consent. So basically what you see on Instagram is probably only 50% of the work that we do, because 50% of people don't give their consents, which is absolutely fine. So,
Absolutely.
and then we started posting videos, and Instagram opened out a new window altogether, wherein, we had people from not just from Thane, but from Mumbai and other places. And eventually we also started having people from different cities, like Goa, Ahmedabad, Pune, all these places. So yes, it was a great opportunity, and this happened especially more during the COVID time, because though we were, though there was not much work happening in other areas, but being in a medical profession, these things were happening anyways, so we could kind of, leverage on this situation.
Wow. Wow. I'm really curious to know what are like some of the common cases do you see? Like I am presuming most of us live such a sedentary life. At least me, I'm somebody who works out of home. I'm on my laptop at least 10 hours tops. But I want to know, like, what are some of the common patterns? What are some of the or what are some of the most interesting out of the box problems people are coming to you with?
So 90% of the problems that we are facing is with people who are into desktop jobs.
Right.
Sadly, because of the kind of work we are into, everybody today is like computer-based work that they are doing. So everything
Right.
is all around the desktop. So the first thing I ask my patients is, what is the kind of job that you have? Do you have a sedentary job, or do you have an active kind of job? And I'm grateful that I have an active job. I'm on the move all the time, because of which these things, it doesn't affect me to a great extent where it would affect someone who's sitting for about 10 hours a day.
Right.
Second most important thing is that whether you have a right ergonomics when you are into these desktop job, because you need to understand one thing: human body is not meant to sit on one place. Human
Yeah.
body is meant to be mobile, and of course it is because of our work that we have to sit, we have to do this thing. But there is a solution, and probably the solution could be having the right sort of ergonomics, because your height, your chair, your position of your desktop, how are these things placed exactly? If there are mistakes here, you are in a bad posture for the next 8 to 10 hours on a daily basis. Now, if that's the case, you will definitely complain about back pain or neck pain within a 6 month span, whether you are 20 or whether you're 40. So
Yeah.
that's a very common problem. So we need to understand how important the posture plays a role, how much time we are spending on that, and how can we correct that. Because if we understand ergonomics, or if we try and adjust our chair, our table, take frequent breaks, because again, that's a very important thing. Your best posture is your next posture. So it's like after every 45 minutes, you get up, move around, come back to your position. Just do that much of mobility. That's what your body needs. Because I'm sure you might have heard of the term sitting is the new smoking, which only means that when you sit
Wow.
for more than 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you're giving a signal to your body that I don't need a lot of activities happening in my body. I don't want a lot of circulation also, because of which you will see that your calf muscles becoming, they start becoming slow, and the contraction is much lesser. Your heart rate is only meant to just sit and do the job. So ultimately, you are leading into changes which happens with smoking.
Right.
So that's something which you do definitely not want your body to do. So that's where mobility plays a role. When you cut that posture, when after half an hour you get up, move around, come back. That's the circulation you're providing to your whole body, not just giving a break to your posture. So these are very scientific things, but it has to come up, and it has to be followed very well, implemented very well, because that's very, very important. And talking about interesting cases, I would not say interesting cases. Actually, to a great extent, it makes me a little sad also, because I see that we have, started compromising a lot with our body. We have started, accepting the way our body is. Like, I have seen a lot of patients who find it very difficult to simply lie down on the bed, where they cannot touch their head onto the bed. they don't
Right.
realize
Right.
they don't realize that it is a very stiff neck, because of which they're not able to touch their neck or their head onto the bed. Now, this is a condition called ankylosing spondylitis, where your thoracic spine, or the mid back of your whole portion, it actually becomes so stiff that it changes the shape. Instead of this, it becomes like this. Now, because of this,
Right.
when you lie down like this, obviously your head will be up, it will not go down. And no orthopedician, or even when they visit the doctors, sometimes the doctors miss out this whole diagnosis. They feel that it is just a normal neck pain, they just give the medicines, they take the medicines, but the secondary changes have already started. The stiffness has already began, and the whole changes have already begun. It has already become a bamboo spine, and eventually they come with a kind of completely hunched back. And when I see their neck movement, the neck movements gets restricted to this extent. They are not able to move the neck, but they're okay with that. They
Right.
feel it's just a stiff neck, and I'm okay. I mean, I can do my activities like this, I can
Right.
turn like this, so it's okay. I'm okay with that. So this is a problem for me. This is where I feel sad, because I realize that you could not just have accepted this. You could have probably done something more. Maybe tried to get some more intervention. And in ankylosing spondylitis, lifestyle is the most important thing. If you get your lifestyle right, I've seen a lot of patients
Sure.
who are having the right lifestyle. They are on the right medications, whether it is homeopath or allopathy, along with exercises and spinal manipulation, and they do really well. But people
Right.
who are not even aware, I mean, if you don't know that you have cancer and you are suddenly diagnosed tomorrow and you don't have time, what are you going to do? That's the
Right.
problem. They are not even aware that they have ankylosing spondylitis. I mean, there are so many patients who come to me and I have to tell them. For me, I'm a physiotherapist. It's not my job. Ankylosing spondylitis patients have to come to me directly. They have to either come through a ortho, or probably someone who would refer them, because they would need this intervention also. So my intervention is to some extent not primary but secondary. But I feel sad that they're not able to understand this. So these are some sad cases which I see. Not really interesting though.
Aarti was just
Just,
trying to be positive about the word more than
Yes,
anything else.
yeah.
yes.
I think
I agree. I
that's
agree.
what it
I agree.
is. But yeah,
Right.
I completely get it, and I think
Yeah.
life is a big. I mean, I like the fact that
Yeah.
sitting idle is the new smoking. I'm gonna like put it in my office.
Yeah, we got. I gotta
Yeah.
put it on my board for
Wow.
sure.
Yeah, in fact, I have done a lot of presentations for corporates on sitting is the new smoking,
Wow.
where we have really tapped on this thing and we have made them realize, because end of the day, it is the corporates and it is also the people who actually work from home, and it's
Right.
really important. They understand this, because every profession has their own professional
Right.
hazard.
Yeah,
Whether you're a teacher, whether you're someone who's sitting, whether you're a worker, everyone has their professional hazard, and we need to understand what is ours.
right.
So
Right.
for me also, the kind of work that I do, it's very important that I keep myself flexible, I keep myself fit, I keep myself clearly in complete nutrition and exercise regularly, because if I don't do that, I will not have the strength, flexibility, and the technique to do what I'm doing. So I think you have to understand your professional hazards and do what is right.
Great. So I'm going to take up the next one, Aarti.
Yeah.
So, for me, I think a great conversation, doctor, and kind of, I can't agree more. Thankfully, I'm one of those who hates to sort of sit idle. I don't. I never. Like,
Good.
I'm
Good friend.
constantly moving.
Yeah.
That's been, my thing. But what's interesting about you is that, you could have just done it, within your own world, or kind of, more word of mouth, for especially for doctor. Like, I like the fact that you chose the new age medium, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
like the fact that
Yeah.
you equally worked hard to, convey your ideas and thoughts through, whether it's through content, Instagram, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah.
What, apart from, I'm sure, like, as you said, that COVID was a trigger, but today I think it's a big part of your,
Absolutely.
it's about your brand, about you, as content person. So what kind of inspires you on everyday basis to create this, and I would like to know about that piece as well.
I think it's the solution that we are providing. I think that plays a very important role.
Right.
With the kind of world that we are into, we are not really given choices. We are just shown that this is the way and you have to follow it. So when you have a neck pain or a back problem, most of the time people would tell you that you go to a doctor, see him, he will advise you some analgesics, and that is what you're supposed to do. So when you see me on Instagram and you feel that this could be a solution, there are people who come to me, they just do a session and they see me exactly directly after 9 months or a year. And then they tell me, we had come to you
Oh,
9 months back, and you did this one session and it was absolutely fine and we are so happy. But we did the exercise only for 2 months. So we need one more session now. So what I feel is the solution that we are providing in a comparative level,
right.
because you don't see the problems that you have because of painkillers. They come to you
Right.
only when the damage is done, right?
Right.
And if you can get I'm not saying that I'm the solution to every area, okay?
Right.
But yes, if you talk to me about age group of 20 to 45, 50,
Right.
definitely we have a solution for them. People at the age group of 20 to 25 who are actually carrying bad postures, who are actually having these issues. I think addressing them, and they are the people who are essentially on social media. So addressing them and giving them a solution in the right way, making them aware of their body, that's very important.
Right.
Because if they realize that yes, this solution can be solved simply by doing some movement and exercise, and that becomes a lifestyle. So which is a great thing. So I think this solution is what consistently gives me that idea, and then we get a lot of good wishes from patients where they
Right.
tell us, I had this issue for the last 10 years and you did this. And of course it is not just the joint pains that I'm talking about, it is also a lot to do with migraines, headaches. Certain times it is also the balance issue, which creates a lot of difference there. A lot of people who are advised surgery, when they do 2 or 3 sessions with us, they feel the difference and they feel that they were just about to get into a surgery, but this thing is completely avoided. So I think the solution that we are creating is something that is inspiring us on a daily basis, to ensure that we create the right content and be more or less on all the medias, not just Instagram, but yeah, even Facebook and YouTube.
Awesome.
Great. I I really want to know. So Pawan and I run this, and we have another co-founder, Apurv. Three of us run this edtech platform called Sorted,
Right.
and we teach. It's essentially we teach digital marketing. We teach promising entrepreneurs, startup owners, marketeers how to use digital to build your brand, grow your business, and more often than not, it's not just the brand, but it's also the personal brand that one has to grow. And you must be seeing, behind the brand, the founders have also actively started repping themselves and really started creating personal brands, and the ones who are really good at it have been able to really add value back to the brand, right? So it's really a win-win both ways, and I see the same power shift happening with you and your clinic and the way patients are coming in. But one of the things that all our students, most of the creators, people on our DMs, all of them constantly, even when we consult them, their biggest problem is that I don't know how to put myself out there. I am too shy. It is very cringe. I cannot listen to my voice. It's all those doubts, right? That if you think about it today, if anyone who has a phone and internet can do wonders with it, but there's always this thing that stops us from doing it. It took Pawan, I, and Apur also a while to get on to creating content, right? And so,
Yeah.
if you could really explain what was the shift, how was that journey? Did you go through the same anxiety that I'm speaking of? And at what point did you start feeling confident? And when you saw the impact, like just take us through the whole journey of this content creation, because I know right now you're having fun. It shows, right, on your Instagram. So just
So
take it'll help our community.
definitely, there was a lot of anxiety, and when we started doing videos, like when I go back and see few of my videos, which is like 3 years, 4 years old, I you just laugh it out because the kind of content we were giving that time. But then yes, of course, we were naive and things were not very clear.
Right.
But I think what is more important is that if you come up with a skill set, okay, which is obviously relevant to your field, like for you, being a digital content creator or a digital creator is your skill set. The second thing what you need to look at is when you are at camera, when you're on camera, well, the camera can see
Right.
everything, so it is better to be simply natural and be yourself, because if you try to show up something which you're not, that's not the right thing to do. Okay, so
Right.
just come up with a skill set and be yourself. So when I started doing live sessions with on my channel, and when I started connecting with people, and I realized that is it makes so much of difference. And luckily we have got this opportunity where we can actually talk to people, and let them understand what it is. We can answer their questions, we can answer their queries. It makes a lot of difference. So, and when we started doing that, we could see the difference. I mean, I just 2 weeks back, on Facebook there was a comment by one of my follower who was like, "Why don't you come to Calcutta? We have a lot of patients here in Calcutta." I'm like, "We don't have any plans right now, but we'll surely look into that, definitely." So I do reply to all the comments. We try, and of course we have a team which helps on that, but definitely we ensure that if there is missing out, we do that. Last week, the lady and her mother, both of them were here in Thane. They flew down from Calcutta all the way just
Wow.
to do this session. So that's the power of connectivity. And that's the
Absolutely.
power where I feel. And yes, it is very important. It is very important that you come across. You have to come on the camera, because people would want to know. And for the kind of profession we are into, this is definitely a face related brand. Okay,
Yeah.
people are looking onto one person, and what is better when you can actually come onto camera and talk to them and probably even solve their difficulties. So there are times where I do a lot of online consultation also, because it is probably not practical for every patient to come in or fly all the way. We do work in different cities like Delhi, Ahmedabad, Goa, but they are all scheduled like in a 2 months rotation. Okay, so that's the kind of time probably a patient may not wait. So they do online consultation, and they feel happy about that. They feel that somewhere the problem is being able to solve. So I think yes, coming on camera is very important, and just be yourself. You don't have to portray something. You don't have to portray that you're an expert or whatever. you're coming with a skill set. If you're confident about your skill, just be natural. That's it. I think that's something which is very important.
Awesome. So anybody taken our class, I think Aarti keeps emphasizing on this fact that be yourself
Okay.
and
Yes,
content.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
glad, Doctor, you're resonating and you're speaking the same language as us, because I think that's the most important thing. As you rightly said, camera catches everything. It only gives you love when you are honest. So I think that's the biggest strength. Yeah, so very interesting, how you've been able to leverage and how you've been able to use content. And my next question is, I'm sure when you started, one is obviously what Aarti spoke of, more from anxiety and hesitation. Next is, I'm sure some content must have worked and some must not have worked at all. So what was your learning process till you figured out that this is my space, right? Because each one of us, we make some mistake and, oh, this is not working and let me try something new. So how was that phase?
Well, actually speaking, it is still not my space because
Okay.
because the way things are changing, social media is changing every day.
Ah,
There were time we used to do long videos, and then eventually we realized that reels is something which is in.
right,
The moment you started doing reels, you realize that just single post or single videos along with carousel can also make a lot of difference. So there is so much of work happening which my digital team works on, but then so there's no space that really we have created till now. I feel there is yet to come, but yeah, we constantly keep learning. Facebook and Instagram is kind enough. Again, obviously these the apps are made in such a way that if you really follow them right, they are guiding you and they are giving you the
right,
right sort of content, and they're helping you, right? What sort of inspiring content you can create, what sort of entertaining content you can create. So we cannot go more on the entertaining side, because I just can't start dancing again just on my being on my profile, because that doesn't that doesn't make sense. But then
Right.
yes, there is definitely learning. We keep exploring every day. Every day we try to understand what works, what doesn't work. Like a simple thing was during COVID, when we were doing videos for back pain, uh, we realized that COVID as a situation itself, what are the challenges that patients are facing, and how can we relate this with physiotherapy and try to do something from that perspective. And that's where we realized that breathing exercise is a very important role for all COVID patients, because once they recover from COVID,
right.
the lung capacity reduces drastically. And when you start doing these breathing exercises, that makes a lot of difference. So we made a video which was about breathing exercises for patients who are suffering from COVID or who have already contracted COVID at some point of time. So that really helped in a big way. Okay, and then we also have we anyways use videos which are related to exercises, where we have patients where we show them the specific exercise, whether it is neck, back, and that I share with all my patients. Besides this, what works, frankly, is good reactions from patients. So, like when we cracked her also, when we adjusted her, there were good
My reaction
reactions.
was
So there was
sorted.
so there was good reactions, and there were good responses.
Right.
So that is something people love to kind of understand. So
But
so
I
we
am
are
telling you,
exploring every day,
doctor,
frankly.
those videos are, to me, I really feel like there is something very comforting about seeing somebody else's bones crack.
Yeah,
That's the
I
reason
agree.
I think they are just like they're blowing up everywhere. But there is
Absolutely.
definitely something, and it almost it brings FOMO. Like, look at that person really enjoying that bone cracking process. I wish I
I
could,
agree. I
somebody
agree.
could do that to me right now. So that FOMO is also real. I personally think is why your
Yes,
content is
absolutely. Besides the effect, the process itself is
intriguing.
real fun. So that's something
Like,
we
you
love.
won't believe it. I put out a small snippet on my stories before you put out the reel. I must
Yes.
have gotten at least 20 people DM me asking me how was my experience, what actually happened. I'm seeing these videos. I've always wanted to do this, but I've just somehow not managed to. Do you think I should go? How much does it cost? So many people, right?
Yeah.
And so that is the effect. That is literally the effect, where I think one of the content pegs definitely working for you is the actual reaction, like you
Yes.
rightly said,
Absolutely.
of people doing that. There's something very powerful about it. Um, so yeah, but I wanted to know. So typically, you have a digital marketing agency. You have a team. I believe that is working on your brand. And I'm guessing you're also spending some money on paid advertising, and you do the organic content that you're doing on your
Absolutely.
social media.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
typically, as a marketer, one of the biggest target is that how do I find a way to spend less and get more ROI, right? And how do I get my organic content to work for me?
Correct.
And Sorted also went through that journey. We are still in that journey. Every brand goes through that. And so I really want to know from you, at do you has your dependency on paid marketing shifted a little bit, or do you still depend a lot on paid marketing? What is the ratio, and has organic content really taken over to a point that now you don't have to spend so much on paid marketing as much as you had to? And I also have another question where has this entire content space given you more revenue streams? Like, has that also happened?
Yeah, so talking about the the spends that we have, whether it is the ads and stuff. So now it's like at least the city in Thane and Mumbai, we are growing organically, so that definitely helps. Um, we now need the paid part of it in different cities when we are
Right.
exploring a new city or when we are going to a different city, because obviously the whole population is new. People don't know me there, so obviously we have to kind of approach, and we need some sort of way where we can reach out to their screens. So yes, it is helping us out on a 50-50 basis, where
Right.
we are more on the camp part of it, where we are doing more ads in the for the camps, more than what we are doing in a city in Thane, or for that matter even in Mumbai. So these are places where we don't need ads here, the organic part. And most importantly, now what we have seen is we are getting a lot of word of mouth.
Yes.
So obviously patients, if you understand, this is one important thing where there's a lot of word of mouth. In
Yeah.
fact, what happens is that you have a patient you saw in Pune, their sister stays in Nasik, so then from Nasik they come to Thane. So this is how things are happening now. Sometimes I see a patient in Pune, in Goa. They have their relative who's probably based in Mumbai, and then they come to my Bandra clinic because I had seen some of the relative in Goa. So that is also a word of mouth that is helping. But yes, we are definitely the paid partnership is there, and yes, it has definitely worked on our revenue streams, because obviously you also have to look at the ROI. You have to understand whether this is really working. And yes, I mean, we do get the kind of responses. Sometimes things do change, but then we are also learning there. And yes, if we had to explore cities, like right now we are in Pune, Ahmedabad, Goa, Delhi, four places, and we are keen about Bangalore, we are keen about Calcutta. So these are the places which in in the long run we'll obviously look at exploring options, and having a sort of ad thing done over there. Yeah, so that is definitely important.
Awesome.
Great.
So, so I had one question. I'm assuming that the entire online space has kind of made you like a pan India brand today, right? Like it's not restricted to the city of location where you are from.
Not really, not really.
But yeah, I'm sure
Not
the
yet.
intent,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
intent, right? It's given you the wings, if I have to say that word, right? If it's given you the wings, and obviously, I think. But how do you see, like, what's your, and obviously it's made you just not doctor, but also a brand in itself, right? Like you are a brand. So what's your vision? Like, how are you seeing yourself going forward? Like, how what kind of scale are you looking at, which maybe online can help you to sort of reach?
I think I'm looking to take my profession to a different level.
Right,
When I talk about physiotherapist, I think if you talk about spinal manipulation, it is 100-year-old science, but it is
right,
still very fascinating.
right,
Okay, but when you talk about physiotherapy, it is a 50-year-old science, and
right,
still we have not been able to make the kind of mark.
right,
Okay, physiotherapists today, though we have a lot of awareness, though things are changing, but we are still a lot dependent on other areas. We are still considered Physiotherapists are still considered like paramedicals, though they have a huge responsibility, though they can do a lot. So I think one of the things that I would like to do besides working with my patients, besides reaching out to my patients, I would like to do something for the profession where I can have a good level of physiotherapists who want to grow ahead in life, who want to do something better in life. I would like to work with them, and I would like to
Awesome.
do something, yes, where I can take this profession to a different level, where all this, whatever has come to me today is because of the profession. So it's time that I should give it back, and I would definitely like to make it in such a way that people have that vision for the profession itself, where they feel, yes, physiotherapists are really some uh, right people who are required in everyone's life. So yes, I would
Awesome.
like to do that.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Great. I think I am pretty much done with my questions. I actually wanted to know if you have any questions for us, or if you
Great.
any thoughts.
Before,
Um,
let me just put one rider to you. After
yeah.
finish asking, I'm going to do some, what is it called? The Karan Johar bit,
Oh
those
my
Rapid
God.
fire.
rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
I recognize you
Oh
have
my
a lot of
God.
Bollywood also coming in. So I'm
Okay.
not going to spare you. So yes, you can ask us any question, but I'll come back with my rapid fire.
Okay. 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 So tell me more about the Sorted Digital. What exactly you guys are doing, and how is it working?
Pawan, you want to take that?
Yeah, so again, going back to the kind of mission which you put out, and you said that it's just not a profession for us, but you also want to give it a shape to the industry, right? And want people to know that what all can I think this profession can do to mankind, and how you can give it back, right? I think we have very similar philosophy. We realize through our work, our work in corporate, we realize that digital is a big means to sort of make a world a better place, and therefore, if given a right, I won't call it education, if given a right guidance, okay, let me use that word, I think you can really add a lot of value to yourself and to your business, right? Which is what we do. We are all about guiding people to how to create a brand, or how to make yourself a brand in the world of digital, and what are the good things. It's purely comes out of our learning, which we have
Absolutely.
spent all
Absolutely.
15 years in the corporate world.
Yeah, today a brand or a marketing agency is not just limited to a shop, or
Right,
trying to cover a 5 kilometer vicinity around that area. Today
right.
it is open across. It can go pan India. It can go international. They can probably kind of do logistics, and everything is possible as long as you can reach out to those people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yes, that's a great
That's
thing.
exactly where we realize that India has no dearth of aspiration, right? Everybody,
Hmm.
including a homemaker to somebody who wants to. So entrepreneurship is really thriving, or it's really there. But what they don't
Absolutely.
know is how they can grow themselves,
Yes.
and that's exactly what we guide them. We teach
Yes.
them.
Absolutely.
That's why we are
Yeah.
called No Faff Digital Marketing Masterclass. There's no faff here. We cut out
Great.
everything, and we tell you like what's right and what's wrong for you.
Right.
Uh,
Very
that's what.
interesting.
Thank you for asking that question.
Very
Uh,
interesting.
it really
I do want to
helped.
do a shameless plug. If anyone wants to check out our masterclasses, please go to sorted.digital. That's
Right.
www.sorted.digital, or follow us and we could guide you. I just
Awesome.
had to do it.
Perfect.
So my question is, I saw some Bollywood also in your feed. So
Pawan got
who's
damn excited.
who's been the most okay, let me ask the better question. Who's been the most, let's say, actor or a celebrity who's really come into consulting and kind of really been a darling to you, like, in that sense? And if you can just name.
Um, well, I think Aditya Narayan was he's very cute, and he kept following our sessions and therapy for a good time, and he had some issues, and then things were working out very well with him, so he was very happy with that. So yeah, that was one thing. And besides that, I think all Bollywood people, whoever came, they came through some references, and they were
Right.
really nice, and frankly, whenever I come across a Bollywood, celebrity, or for that matter, any celebrity who belongs to any other industry, uh, I don't make it a point to make these things too special,
Right.
because it doesn't have to be customized. As long as I understand the problem and I can kind of give solution to that, I think that's more important rather than looking at whom I'm treating. Because probably that I may once I get that thing in mind where that, oh, I'm treating this person and I'm treating that person, I may just lose out on my way of
Uh,
working, which I don't want to do. So I just be very normal and I just do what is required. And yeah, that's it.
that was a nice question. Now a difficult one. Who's been the most painful?
Painful. I would not say anybody has been painful. I think they've been very kind and good.
Right.
Frankly, I'm not making this up, but trust me. I mean, I have not experienced someone who's been painful yet. So not yet.
Awesome. Awesome.
Sweet.
Great.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much for
And
creating this. This was very, very interesting. And I loved this conversation. I loved talking, and this was interesting.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Absolutely.
sure
And
you're going to see Pawan very soon at your
yes.
clinic.
Perfect.
He was
Perfect. That
asking
will
me
be great.
about it.
So
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
think for me, I think it was a great discovery when I actually saw Aarti's post and so on, and that's exactly where I checked with her. But I
Yeah.
think it's been phenomenal. What I really loved is that the fact that how you're using online slash digital to create a universe and a world for yourself, which is limitless. I think this is very very inspiring. And guys, whoever is here on the live, I think that's the power which you have today. If you wish to create, it's up to you. With that note, we'll say a very very a goodbye to you, and hopefully I think we'll see you soon. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you for
you
having
so
me.
much,
Thank you
doctor.
for having me. Thank you.
Thank
Take care. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.